Hi everybody, Lewis Smith here back with another MMA UK live stream. Tonight we're going to be joined by Craig Thundercat White. Craig obviously off the back of his massive win on Saturday against Matt Inman, so yeah, really good fight. We're going to get him on in a minute, have a couple of questions. If you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments down below and we'll try and get through as many as we can. I know Craig's a little bit busy this evening, so yeah, we'll try and get through as many as we can. As well as that, guys, as always, download our app, MMA UK app, if you want to get the news to your phone or iPad. I know the guys have been working really hard on that lately, so give that a download as well for us. And yeah, as I said in a minute, we're going to be joined by Craig White and we'll ask a few questions.
Hello.
Craig, how are you this evening, buddy?
Yeah, that's about right, Les.
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for joining me. I really appreciate the time. I know you're really busy.
That's all right, no
Um,
problem.
so yeah, get straight into it, Craig. Saturday evening, you had a massive fight against Matt Inman, Cage Warriors 87. Oh, phone dropped there, sorry.
That's all right.
Yeah, obviously a massive win for yourself. Did it go as you expected?
Yeah, I mean, the training we had put in for the camp was primarily to keep it standing, striking, put the pressure on him. And having watched some of his fights, seen that he tends to crumble a bit under pressure. A lot of his losses have come down to that. So the key factor of it all was just to keep pushing forward, keep him on the back foot. Obviously, at first I didn't look to do that because I decided to clinch up with him.
Yeah,
Caught a good knee to my body, which was straight to the liver. And like I said, in the interview, thanks to all the food I ate to put my weight back on, it killed me straight away. But then I managed to get a break. And then the minute I caught him with the overhand right, I knew that I had him and just decided to press forward and use the aggression that we've worked on. And from there, obviously, got the end result, which was a finish standing TKO.
yeah. I did actually speak to Liu Long just a couple of weeks before your fight,
Yeah.
and he actually predicted a first round KO for you in that one. So a really good prediction from him. I mean,
Yeah.
was the striking something you worked on a lot? Because your striking looked really dangerous in that fight, I thought.
Yeah, I mean, before the Hack and Foss fight, I decided to start going down to one of the local boxing gyms in Exmouth. So Exmouth Amateur Boxing Club. I used to go there when I was about 11. Did about 6 months there, then moved from there into Taekwondo. And then that's what I've been doing, like from martial arts since. So I went back down there and did a lot of sparring with the guys there, and the change in tempo and the ranges that we need to do there is obviously what's been a big benefit in my game, and it's helped me build a bit more confidence in my striking.
Mm.
Having come from a background of Taekwondo, my grappling side of my game wasn't really there at the start. So my first semi-professional mixed martial arts fight about 9 years ago, I took on 2 weeks' notice after having just done a kickboxing fight. Grappling at all, and managed to win that within 55 seconds. It was just a 55-second slugfest of just swinging, and I come out on top of that. And then gradually, as my career's progressed, I've just managed to move away from the striking and become more of a grappler and getting more submissions, which is why the majority of my finishes have been subs. So yeah, it's just a case of going back to roots a bit and working on what I think is more beneficial for me. I know I can get submissions out of nowhere. I can work off my back. I can work stood up. Um, I've proved that in my other two fights this year. And then on Saturday, it was just a case of proving that I'm dangerous on the feet as well, and I can finish fights from there.
Yeah, I think it was an excellent finish. I gotta be honest. I mean, you looked dangerous straight away coming out. I think you threw a couple of strikes. Like you said, you did get you in the clinch, but
Yeah,
once you unloaded, that was the end of it. I think it was actually a really good stoppage by the ref at that
yeah. I
particular
mean,
time.
straight after when we are in the medical room, Matt said that obviously he thought it was an early stoppage. And I've seen a few people say since that they think it was, and they think it was a bad stoppage. But to be honest, when you've got 22 unanswered punches, and
Mm.
you're just curled up, well, it doesn't matter how experienced you are, and you've got the ref telling you you've got to move, you should know to move.
Yeah,
And even at the slight possibility it was an early stoppage, I still had more than enough energy to keep going, and the fact that Matt wasn't moving, we were going to be there for at least another 15, 20 seconds. Because I started working the body, I threw an uppercut which caught him, and if you watch the replay on the actual Cage Warriors footage, when you see it from a different angle, every right hook I'm throwing is going through the gloves and hitting him in the head. So from one angle, it looks like they're not really doing anything, but they are breaking through. So I think it was a good stoppage by Rich Mitchell. Obviously, I would be a bit biased with that,
Yeah.
but um, what else are you going to do? Are you just going to let a fighter get finished standing and completely crumble? Or are you going to at least do what you're there to do if you're a ref, and that's keep everyone safe?
Yeah.
And we get told at the start to listen to the ref, and you've got to work to them. So that's what's important in what you do.
Yeah, I think like you said, he was going to be there for another little bit, and even if it was 10, 15 seconds, it's a long time to be eating hard punches, isn't it?
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that was the game plan, just being aggressive and going from there. I mean, that's the one aspect of the fight camp you can't really prepare for and train with. So, the last thing you want to do is in your sparring camps, get someone against the cage and just unload on them like that. So,
Yeah.
there's not necessarily something you can prepare for other than having your head what you want to do. But
Yeah.
with all the sessions I got in with Lou, Aaron, Josh, all the guys at the Mat Academy, as well as my own gym, that's definitely a huge factor in what was successful on the weekend. And it's just a shame that in turn they weren't as successful in their fights.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. Obviously, you said you spent a little bit of time at the Mat Academy.
Yeah.
Obviously a tough loss for Lou on the weekend. Did you get a chance to catch up with him after the fight?
Yeah, I mean, I hung around before I left because I had to drive back because my girlfriend was doing the Rickmas run on Sunday. So in
Right.
turn of her supporting me, I went down and back and supported her. So I didn't hang around. We just came straight back. So I hung around for a bit to make sure he was okay. And yeah, he was fine. I mean, the great thing about Lou is he's always in high spirits, but deep down he's completely
Yeah.
gutted. I know fully well how gutting it is because I've trained with him so much. He's like, me and him become very close. Like, we've joked around, we've created team fund along in that, and that's something which will stay going forward. I hope that we keep training together. There's
Yeah.
no reason why we wouldn't, because he's only going to come back stronger, more hungry. He just got caught with what was an excellent knockout, but then
Mm.
the follow up of a really twatty, prickish punch at the end, which was
It was
completely
a punch late,
unnecessary.
wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that some people said, "Oh, yeah, it's adrenaline," you could keep get. It was just the momentum was one thing, but when he's already stopped, Rich Mitchell's already jumped in, then he goes for it.
Yeah.
I don't think it's professional behaviour, to be honest. And the one thing I think we've got to be in this game, especially at that level, is professional and make sure we're being good role models for everyone,
Mm.
especially with how big MMA's become on the scene because of the likes of Conor McGregor. Um, and from there, just everyone else, Bisping, just in the UK, it's becoming very big now, very quickly, and we need to make sure we're putting in a good account of ourselves, not doing
Yeah.
things like punching off someone's already knocked out and they're gone.
Yeah. Yeah, it's about safety at the end of the day as well, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think there could be any sort of repercussions for that for him throwing that late one?
I'd like there to be personally, not just because I'm his friend, but as a professional athlete in the sport, and I think that there does need to be some consequence. The downside we've got over here is we don't have any governing body. There's no
Mm.
like ABCs or
Commission.
commission. Yeah, there's no commission, so the only people that can levy out any form of punishment is cage warriors. And it depends what they want to do. I mean, I've seen endless messages of people saying, "Why hasn't this been addressed yet?
Yeah.
Are you going to address it?" And nothing's come out yet. And it doesn't mean it's not going to, but we're 3 days after the event and nothing's been mentioned. And considering how that's been mentioned and brought up more than the actual knockout, which again, it was a beautiful knockout, there's no
Mm.
doubt about it. But when you've got something that's massively overshadowing that, then something's definitely wrong. But whether there is any punishment or not, I don't know. But if I'm honest, if there's not going to be, I want to fight him next and get some revenge for Lou.
Yeah, good shout. So obviously back to the fight on Saturday. He was in Newport. Great event. I gotta be honest, I was down there, had a brilliant time. You took quite a few fans down as well, didn't you? What was it like having that support following you down there?
That support was insane. I mean, I had about 100 people at least there that I took. However many people got tickets outside of that. The people through Mat Academy that obviously we built relationships with and other gyms. Like I've been in the sport for like 8, 9 years now, so I've got very good relationships with a lot of gyms and a lot of people. So it's good to have that. But just yeah, the roar of the crowd was amazing. It's definitely what keeps me going this year, and it's massive key of my success. The support I've had for everyone. I mean, my family, my girlfriend, my friends, they've been there through thick and thin. And
Mm.
like, I sent my friends a really gay, soppy message at the end saying thanks for everything. Thanks for that. And I know I'm not going to hear the end of it, but it's true. I mean, since day one, they've
Yeah,
been there. They're gutted if they can't come to a fight, and all of them. Some of them only got there at like 9 o'clock. They come straight from work. Luckily, they only live in Bristol, so they hadn't that far
yeah,
to go. They literally come for that, then went straight back home. Um, and normally they like going out and getting drunk, and they couldn't do it this time, and they still were up for it.
fair
But yeah,
play.
just having that support was insane, and I've never even taken that many people to a show in Exmouth that we've put on. Normally, I've taken about 30 people, so almost
Yeah, a lot of
well over
Thundercat t-shirts I
triple.
saw.
Yeah, well over triple, and that was good. And obviously, having all my t-shirts there standing out was good as well.
Mm. I've got a question from James Anthony. That's a question I wanted to ask as well, actually. Where did you get the name Thundercat from?
It's not as interesting a story as some people might hope it would be, but basically, like the second tattoo I got, it's now been covered up because I outgrew it, but I got a tribal lion head tattoo. And
Mhm.
when I went into training with it, they joked around saying it like the Thundercat logo. And then that got kind of joked around for a few months, and it just went really quiet. And then I think it was around my fifth pro, or not pro fight, no, my third semi-pro fight, one of the announcers asked if we had nicknames yet. And Ben Crook, who was one of the fighters at the time at our gym, joked around saying that I'm the Thundercat. And it's stuck since then. I mean,
Yes, good name.
all throughout my life not really having a nickname, so the fact I had what I thought was quite a cool nickname, I decided to stick at it, and it's done me well since.
Yeah, so it's a cool nickname. Um, Chris Gann is asking, did you paint your toes for this one?
I did, and you can still see it now.
There you are, Chris.
So I didn't paint them myself though, but my girlfriend did, and I'm pretty sure she has a really bad foot phobia. She doesn't like doing it, but every time she does it, and again, I'm quite superstitious with things, so things like getting my toes painted has to be done. This year, every night after a weigh-in, we've gone to Frankie and Benny's for food. We did that again on Friday, um, and again, same result. So that tradition is going to keep going until I lose.
Yeah.
So stuff like that, I like to keep going. And the toenail thing was originally a gym thing. It was started by Craig Clarkson, and I think I'm genuinely the only person that does it now. And I get a few weird looks when I still got it, and I'm wearing flip flops a couple of weeks after the fight because I just let it grow out.
Yeah.
It's you get
But I mean, no one's going to say anything to you, so I wouldn't worry too much. It'd be different if it was me, maybe, because I'd be killed for that. But you know, I don't think too many people's going to mess with you and say anything. So you're okay there, Craig.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, something else I wanted to ask. Obviously, big win on Saturday, 3 in a row now.
Yeah.
What's next for you within Cage
Well,
Warriors? Is it a title shot you're looking for?
yeah, I mean,
Fight against Soldetch?
obviously my kind of attitude towards stuff's changed throughout the course of the year, so I'm still here just to fight. I love fighting. Anyone they want to put in front of me, I'll fight. Because I love doing what I do. I don't do it for money. I've got a full-time job. Unfortunately, even at this level, there's not a great deal of money in it. It's just a bit of pocket change. So the fact that I do still love it is what keeps it going. But I think I've done more than enough now to deserve a title shot. Um, Unfortunately, because Lou lost, he was next in line, and I was a huge supporter of him with that, and I still am. But he's going to have to work his way back up, and I'm sure he will. But for the time being, there's two people at the top of the division now. You've got me, and if you will include him, even after his behaviour, you've got Soldic, and you've got Amasal, who's vanished off the face of the earth and hasn't fought since February. And you've got people like me who've fought twice since then, bringing in good wins, and we're ready and we want to go for it. But you have an endless amount of people that seem to think that one win in the Cage Warriors Welterweight division is enough for a title shot. And realistically, I don't think it is. You need to make sure you've got a good, solid few wins against good opponents and that you can back it up. But everyone was saying that my fight with Matt was the people's main event. I've been called a fighter's fighter before, so I think it's about time I get rewarded for all of that. And I'd love to put on a show for Cage Warriors and fight for the title. Um, and to be honest, for me, there's no better time, and I've never deserved it more than I do now.
Yeah. So when are you looking to get back into the cage? When are you looking to have your next fight? Is it the end of the year or
Well,
next year?
I think I've confused a few people in my post fight by saying I wanted a break. So what I meant by that is basically just over the Christmas period, all Cage Warriors have got now is they've got Liverpool, which the card sorted, and they've got Antwerp, which it's about 6 weeks away, and in all honesty, I don't think my body will take another welterweight cut within 6 weeks. I've done it 3 times this year, and it would be a massive push with a 6 week turnaround after just having done it.
Mm.
So as soon as I can next year, February, March time is like the soonest I'm looking to fight. And then that's that little self-imposed break of having Christmas off. I'm going to Thailand for New Year for a little bit of a holiday. So it should all fit in quite nicely, but I didn't pass up a cheeky opportunity to try and get on the UFC card last night for the weekend because I knew they needed a welterweight.
Yeah.
And although the weight cut for that by Friday would have killed me, I would have jumped at the chance to have had the opportunity to get in there.
So yeah, what was the story behind that then? Who did you reach out to?
I just put a tweet up, just trying to give it a go. Obviously, did the usual
Yeah,
tweeting
why not?
UFC, Dana White, and within about 15, 20 minutes, had about 30, 40 retweets and likes. And before the weekend, I wouldn't even have had 5. So even outside of maybe trying to push for a UFC fight, it just goes to show that how much more of a fan base I've gained just from the weekend. So
Yeah.
even that in itself is great because it's just building my profile. People I think are finally starting to see what I'm about, what Lions Den are about. We're here to fight. We don't turn down hard fights. We don't want easy fights. We just want to turn up, do the job, and just show everyone what we're capable of.
Yeah. And I mean, I think as well with the Cage Warriors brand at the moment, it's got such a good platform. You know, if you put on good fights there, you are going to get noticed. So
Yeah,
that's the good
definitely.
thing we're at the moment. I mean, I was talking about the Josh Reed fight. I don't know if you got a chance to see that, but
Yeah, I was down
I
in
know
London.
so many people watch that fight. It's built a big name for both Josh and Nathaniel now.
Yeah, I mean, that was an amazing fight. Like, that was an insane couple of minutes in a round. And if Josh had just changed angles of his shots, he could have finished it. And this is just a shame, and it's how our sport works, that that split second counter by like Nathaniel made all the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was down in London for that. I watched that hands on. I watched all the fights there, so that was a great card in itself. One of the most standout fights for me was Jamie Richardson when he fought Hacken Foss. So obviously I felt quite invested in that, having just fought and beat Foss.
Mm.
And I was very impressed with his first round. But I think by winning the first round, like he did with body-to-body suplexes in his wrestling, it fatigued him so much that
Yeah.
he was the reason why he lost the second.
Jamie Richardson looked good in that fight as well,
Yeah,
I
I thought he
thought.
did look very good. I think, in my opinion, I think he's a bit too small for a welterweight. I think he could probably make lightweight. Um, Maybe not necessarily now, but maybe in a few years once he's grown into his body a bit more. He's still fairly young. But for the meantime, if he's going to stick a welterweight, the next fight I'd like to see is him against Ross Houston. I think that would be a
Yeah,
great fight. I was saying
that'd be
before
good.
Khalid fought Houston that I think the winner of that should fight Jamie. So along with that, I think that would be a great fight, and it would definitely be good for both of them.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. And Tom Heffernan is asking if you could pick someone to fight on your UFC debut, who would it be? And he says, don't say anyone.
Just because everyone always has that one fight they've had before that they want to get a bit of revenge on, I would love to say Leon Edwards. I fought him a few years ago in one of his earlier pro fights, um, and he savagely axe kicked me in the nuts on purpose. Um, and I'd love just to fight him back, just to get him back and do that to him so he could see exactly how it felt.
Yeah, no,
I mean, I've never
great.
heard anyone get booed so much. And oh yeah, someone said me, you have to say that. But yeah, I mean, that was brutal. It was just on my back, in guard, stood up, looked straight at me, axed me right in the nuts. Um, I went on to lose that fight. I couldn't come out for the second round because I couldn't see out my eye from basically spending the second round getting elbowed in the head so much that I just had too much blood coming down. But I'd love for the chance to fight him again. But as it stands at the moment, I'd say he's definitely leagues above me in terms of what he's getting training wise. So yeah, that would definitely be I'd want to fight him a debut, although probably unlikely that would happen.
Yeah, and also you touched on it as well. You work a day job. What's it like kind of living that split lifestyle of working a day job as well as training and being a fighter?
I reckon it works really well, or it does for me at least. So, I mean, last week I worked Monday to Wednesday, and I had Thursday, Friday off the weight cut and getting to Wales. Um, and obviously, struggling, I'm flagging, I'm tired, I'm hungry, but it really made me want to be at training. So, if I'm like that when I'm completely drained and struggling,
Yeah.
It's completely amplified when I'm not. So I love doing what I do. It's a good balance. I have a great job. I work with some great people, and they support me very much. I mean, my boss sponsors me. I had probably about 15 of them there on Saturday. I've only been working there since the start of the year, so it's great support quite early on. And it definitely helps the day go by. But I think having a Monday to Friday 9 to 5 definitely helps you appreciate your outside life a bit more. It gives me
Mm.
the freedom to do what I want at weekends. So I don't necessarily have to take holiday off for fights. Whereas when I was like 19, I worked at Tesco and I used to have to all the time. Whereas now I've got the luxury of having um, time off as I need it, and then just take days off in the week. But my training, I can work around it. So I'll go to the gym in the morning before work. I can go during work, during my lunch break. And then once I finish, I've got the evening to do gym training. So, I mean, on average, I get about 2, 3 sessions in a day, even when I'm working. Um, and that's generally like during fight camp as well.
Yeah, I think it'll make all the difference for you as well when that call finally comes for the UFC, and obviously you make it a full-time career. Then you'll notice the difference of training,
Yeah.
full time basically.
Yeah, I think even with that, enough people nowadays still work full time outside of it. And
Mm.
I would still like to probably do that because I think you need the mental stimulation in your life from socializing with people
Yeah.
and being involved in things to keep it going. I mean, earlier in the year before I fought Tom Robertson, I'd been made redundant from my previous job last November, so I had a 3 month layoff. And it got to a point when I was just ready to get back to work.
Mm.
I watched so many Netflix series. I played so much Xbox and PlayStation because I just didn't need to. I trained obviously a lot as well. I was still training 3 times a day, but I still had the time to get through about 10 different Netflix series. So I had so much free time, I just missed that social aspect. Um,
Yeah.
and I definitely think it helps. Otherwise, you just become a recluse and a bit of a slob. And if I didn't have fighting, I'd definitely have weighed probably about 20 stone instead of like
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, I know Stipe, obviously the heavyweight champion, still works a full-time job, doesn't he? He's a fireman as
yeah.
well as being the heavyweight champion. So obviously some people do like to do it that way, I think.
Yeah, I think putting all your eggs in one basket and hoping that you'll get paid in the UFC or just in general, like a huge money isn't a lot because you think what's entry level about, say 8,000 to start, 8,000 win bonus. So say you don't win, you get your first 2 fights, or even if you lose
Mm.
and win one, you first 3 fights you can maybe get about 24, 32 grand in dollars. Then you get your tax taken off, anything else. Well, if you only get 2 fights in the year, you're actually on less than what you'd get in most normal jobs in the UK anyway. So,
Yeah.
and then you haven't even taken into account paying for your camps, your trainer partners, your equipment, your food. So you're actually probably at a deficit before you even started if you do it full time. But then obviously you get the undisclosed amounts of sponsorships. So
Yeah, it's a difficult lifestyle, isn't it?
yeah, but someone's got to do it. I mean, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like I managed to make it work, and I have done so far. So um, if ain't broke, don't fix it. So
Mm.
it's working for me so far this year. I've been very effective in what I've done, so I'm going to continue to do it. And if I keep progressing as I am and keep making statements like I am as well, who knows what will happen? But unless someone wants to pay me a nice UK full-time wage for training full-time, and then I can still do the same, so I can double my money, then I'm going to have to keep it as I am.
Yeah. No, I can't blame you, Craig. So I mean, long term, what's your goals over the next sort of couple of years? I got Peter Knox asking that.
That's one thing I don't know. I mean, I'm just kind of taking everything in my stride. So at the start of the year, I didn't expect to be in this position at all. I was just going to take one fight, see how it went, and go from there. Because
Mm.
last year I had one fight, lost it, and then all year I was trying to get back on the fighting horse and try and get something in. But nothing materialised. Like no one wanted to fight me. There was no shows that wanted to be on there, and that was coming off a knockout loss. So I didn't get how that was working. But I was working my whole life around potentially having a fight.
Mm.
So I decided this year that I couldn't be fucked to do that. I wanted to have some time with my friends, um, and just enjoy life a bit because over the years I've missed out on so much. Like one of the things I'm most gutted about is I missed a house party around my friends, and my friend Adam got smashed in the face with a frisbee and it knocked him out, and I never got to see that. And the stories about it just sound hilarious. Um, so I was just going to do one fight, but then the opportunity to fight in Cage Warriors come up. So I went with that. Had to pay to get my MRIs done. Well, I think they're valid for a year. I'm not going to pay all that money and all that hassle to get them done and not make the most of it. And I've definitely made the most of it from there. So
Yeah,
I'll
of
just see
course.
what happens, like see what Cage is on offer. Hopefully, all the hard work, dedication, and last minute fights we've taken over the years with them will pay off, and I'll get rewarded with a title shot.
Do
Um,
you get a chance to speak to them after the fight on Saturday? Graham
yeah, I
Boyle, I know,
mean,
was there.
I had a very good relationship with all the Cage staff, so I went and said bye to everyone. Graham was very um, nice about the fight, said he enjoyed it a lot. Had great words said by like Dan Hardy and Dean, everyone. So everyone was very happy for me. So like I said, hopefully that something will come of that. But just have to wait and see. It's early days. We're still like 3 days after the event, so
Yeah,
um, they have a Liverpool card to get through, the Antwerp card to finish off matching and get through, and then we've still got next year. So we've got about 3, 4 months yet, so anything can happen.
yeah. Are you going up to Liverpool to watch the fight, or will you be chilling at home?
Probably not. One of the amateur lads, Marcus Stevens, that we've got, he was supposed to fight on Saturday, and his guy pulled out and they couldn't match him, so he's now fighting in Bristol next Saturday. And he was up cornering me, so I'm going to repay the favour and go up and corner him. Um, like we haven't got that big a team. We've probably got about at most times 15 people on the maximum, and from there, like we have a very close knit relationship. People don't tend to realise just quite how strong it is, and but it works in our team. So we will take the time out, we'll give up a day, we'll go up, corner each other, um, and won't think anything of it. And a lot of the
Yeah.
time, we'll drop our existing plans to do that as well and work around it.
Yeah, so always good to have good teammates like that.
Yeah,
I've got
so
a question coming in from Darren Wood. He's asking, does it help having a smaller face as it's a smaller target to hit?
I don't know. I'd have to ask my opponents that, but it tends having a big head and having a small face, especially when cutting weight. But I think it does help with like I don't really have to slip or move my head much; they just miss. I have quite a punchable face as well, and it can take a lot of damage. But as you can see, I mean, all I've got is a bit of that from Saturday, and that's a bit of glove burn. Um,
Yeah,
to be fair, most of the shots were to my body from that, and from that, that's fine as well. Most of the damage was done because I ate too much on the Saturday. I had that one burger too many, and I had gut ache so bad afterwards, it just killed.
yeah, it's that big knee. I've got another question.
Yeah.
Robert Roy Levin was asking, what was said between you and Matt at the end of the fight?
Matt just said all the best to me, and he wished me all the best. And then it was just like I said, when we were in the medical room afterwards, he just said that he was gonna say that he thought it was an early stoppage, and he was just letting me know. But he was saying obviously that he wishes me all the best and that he's one of the most professional guys I've come across. I said it before the fight, I'll say it now. I respect him massively. And like similar to what he said to me, I wish him all the best. Um, he is a great guy, and he is exactly what most people should be in mixed martial arts. Um, it's what I strive to be as well, just someone that says it how it is. We're professional. I mean, you don't have to fight and be a bit of a prick at the end. Like we're not at the big level. We're not. It might not sell a fight as well, but you don't need to do that to sell a fight. I mean, nothing was said between me and Matt before the fight, like on social media or anything, and people calling it the people's main event. So I
Yeah,
think that itself shows that you don't have to be the prick to sell a fight. Um,
yeah. Have you come
yeah.
across many guys like that though, who kind of really go under your skin before a fight?
No, I'm quite basic and easygoing. Like nothing really bothers me. I think the only person who even come close was John Redmond a few years ago in Jordan and Cage Warriors. But John Redmond being Johnny Jets, he just likes to psych up a fight and get in your face.
Mm.
But even that was nothing. I mean, he pushed me at the weigh in. Then when we had the public weigh in, I didn't look in his eyes to try and psych him out. He decided to put his fist underneath my chin to push it up. So I blew him a kiss, and that was that. Other than that, nothing's really been said before. I mean, over the years, social media has become a bit of a bigger thing, so it's slightly different. And I've been doing this
Yeah,
for, I've been fighting pro for 8 years next month. So I've gone from the evolution of just Facebook to Twitter. I've only been on Instagram for like the last 2 months. So it's just
yeah.
gradually happening. So
Building up now.
yeah.
So obviously, Craig, I know you're really busy, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. Before I let you go, obviously back talking about the welterweight title. Carl Masu What's happening with him at the moment? I mean, has he got anything scheduled? Have they said when he's coming back?
Your guess is as good as mine. I mean, everyone's joked about it, saying that he's probably the best person at hide and seek, playing the World Championship and all that. Like, and it's true. I mean, he's a Cage Warriors World Champion who, since he's won it, has fallen off the face of the earth. Now, if he's waiting for a UFC call up, I think he should probably get the hint that 8 months later he's not going to get it, and he should probably be active. And there's endless people wanting to fight him. Lou wanted to fight him. Matt Inman wanted a rematch. Giovanni Melio wanted to fight him. Like I said, anyone who got one win under a welterweight bout wanted to fight him. So in my head, there's only a few things that can happen with the welterweight pitch now. You can either have Carl against Roberto Soldic, if he's going to defend it. If they're not going to give it to Soldic, they give it to me against Carl, which obviously I'd prefer. And I would hope that that would happen, because if they want a people's main event to become even better, they give them the title fight. Or if they're going to strip him of the belt, then I want to fight Roberto Soldic and get some redemption for Lou. And not even just for that, just I don't approve of the whole punching after the refs got involved. Like saying, he's a massive prick for doing it, and that's not what our sport's about. And it's just going to put us back a few years, if just in terms of how the public see it, after everyone's working so hard to build up the sport and credibility.
Yeah, no, I think you're 100% right there. I don't know if they're going to get, I don't know if they will be watching this, Craig, but if Carl Masu is watching this, or if Soldic is watching this, any message for them?
Put up or shut up. If they want to fight, I'm here. Could maybe do Antwerp if they want to do it so soon. If they want a bit of time to enjoy Christmas as well, then we'll do it next year in London. I love fighting at the Indigo. The crowd there, amazing. It's a great atmosphere. I don't know if, well, I'm going to get you there for the Wood and Reed fight.
Yeah, brilliant.
So, I mean, you know exactly how it is there. And
it's like a nightclub, isn't it?
Yeah, it's better just because of how it's set up. If you imagine if you had Jack Shaw's lot from Saturday in there, the place would literally fall down. It just echoes so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to fight them in London. I'll fight them wherever. If they want to do it on their home turf, if Cage Warriors want to give them a bit of an advantage and go over there, then fair enough. But it depends on whether I'm fortunate enough to be granted the title shot.
Yeah. Well, I think, you're definitely with a really good shout after that performance on Saturday, Craig, to be honest. Really great performance. Brilliant win over a tough opponent. So I think, it's anyone's call between you and Soldic now, to be honest. Like you said, I think with your record, three wins in a row in Cage Warriors, it could lean towards you. But where can people find you on Twitter as well, and where can people find you on social media?
Everything on social media is the same, so it's at the Thundercat, but because that was actually taken when I first got Twitter, it's just THETHNDRCAT. So it's basically the Thundercat with thunder with no vowels in it.
Brilliant. So guys, anyone watching, give Craig a follow on his Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Give him some retweets, show him some love. And Craig, once again, thanks for taking the time to join me tonight, buddy. Really appreciate it. And have a good evening, okay?
You too. Cheers, Les. Thank you.
See you, Craig. Bye, buddy.